Well, hello there. It's Beards and Bangers. And today, once again, you find me not looking at an MG or a Rover. I'm looking at something Japanese, a car that I used to own myself. Not this particular model, but an earlier one. You'll remember kitten face, the K11 Micra. So today, we're going to look at this imported K13 Micra in this rather nice purple colour, which, if it was an MG Rover, people would probably call it a monogram. Beards and Bangers. So the Micra launched in 1982 as the K10, and you still see a few about. They're quite distinctive cars. And viewers of my channel will remember that about 12 months ago I had a K11 Micra, so that's the really bubbly shaped one. There was then the K12, which was slightly bigger, and then the K13, which we see here before us, is bigger still. So they're getting bigger and bigger. And then the latest Micra, I mean, it's just huge. It's the same size as an Astra or something like that. But yeah, this one has been imported from Japan. I think there's some law in Japan where you have to get rid of your car once it's done so many miles. But what we see before us is a 12, 13-year-old 30,000 mile example, and being a Japanese spec car, it's got absolutely everything on it. So we've got wind deflectors, we've got electric everything. We'll have a proper look round in a sec, but yeah, it's certainly a well-appointed car. And we'll obviously take it out for a drive and I'll show you the interior very soon. But look at even the wheels. You've got these really nice two-tone alloy wheels, look very sporting. It's a 5-door car. Needs a bit of a going over with a detail brush, but there we are. Yeah, lovely colour. It's down as purple on the kind of DVLA records, but yeah, so very versatile car. You've got, let's have a look at the boot while we're here. I think we can just open it like this. We can. Yes, we've not got a huge, some stuff in there. Not a huge boot, but quite tall. You've got a bit of height there. The seats fold down. They're one piece, so it's 100% of the back seat will fold down. So you can make it, fairly decent in terms of load. Yeah, but the back is quite upright. It's got quite a sort of nice stance. It looks like a little dog that's sitting up all excitedly. Interesting light clusters here, just a little dimpling in there. But yeah, they're quite straightforward. Nice lines, nice curvature coming down the car. And then we've got these rather nice one-piece headlight and indicators, really big lenses. Not driven this car at night, so don't know what it's like. It's got spot lamps as well, so it's pretty well appointed. It's got a lot going for it. Let's pop our heads under the bonnet and have a look under there. So Micras came for most of their existence with a 1 litre engine, 998cc. They also came with a 1.3, which was very closely related to the BMC or Austin Rover A+ engine, but this has got a 1.2 litre engine. I think on this K13 they came also with 1.5s and 1.6s plus a diesel option, so the car gets bigger, the engines get bigger. So the 1.2 I think was the smallest engine available. Yeah, pretty neat layout. It's very typically Japanese. We've got proper radiator cap there. We've also got an expansion tank that's separate, little ECU there, battery. We've got our 3-cylinder engine. So this is a 3-cylinder 1.2, so 400 cc's per cylinder. Screen wash there, brake or power brake reservoir, fluid reservoir there. So yeah, we've got everything pretty laid out nicely for us. Can't see the power steering, and I think it has got power steering, judging by how I manoeuvred it earlier. But that is the outside. I keep thinking I've got bonnet strut, so we'll get this down and we'll have a look at the inside of the car. Before we actually jump in, let's have a look at some of the controls. So we've got electric windows all round, so a base, what we consider a basic model car. This one being Japanese spec, we've got front and rear electric windows. So how many starter cars like this have front and rear windows? We can turn our lock on and off. We can say whether we want the back windows to be dropped or not, so we've got kids in the back, they can't start opening the windows. We've got, again, really, you know, this is quite a high spec thing. We've got our fuel filler cap opener here, we've got our bonnet opener here. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice it's only got 2 pedals because this is indeed a CVT automatic. So we'll jump in and have a look at that now. So working round the dash, so it's pretty utilitarian. We've got some quite nice air vents of this style with the spinny, turny, flappy thing. Hazard warning lights directly below. This is an aftermarket stereo, so this would have come with a Japanese script stereo, which obviously we can't understand unless we speak Japanese. And then the heating, we've got standard heating controls, so temperature, direction, recirculate or non. Heated rear screen, 4-speed fan, but we've got air conditioning. So again, this being a Japanese car, it is highly spec'd. Moving round, dashboard is pretty basic. So we have got a rev counter. That's something I really wanted on my K11, but you had to buy a separate binnacle for that. We've got a little orange light up display there, and of course a speedo in miles per hour. Over there. Now, this being a Japanese car, we've got the old-fashioned pattern to the indicator and windscreen wiper control. So we've got our indicator, we've got our windscreen wiper on the left, and we've got our indicator and lights on the right. So if you're getting in this car for the first time, or getting in any Japanese pattern car for the first time, you've got to remember that, because otherwise you'll be getting a bit confused when you get to a junction or when it starts raining. We've got electrically controlled mirrors. We can also close the mirrors. I don't know if that works with the power on, but we can actually fold. It's got power fold mirrors. We can adjust our little dip beam here. We've got this mysterious button that's been added aftermarket. No idea what that is at all. And then moving on, we've got an automatic gearbox. This is a CVT. There is a button down here, so I'm wondering if it hasn't got overdrive because or it's not working if it has, because nothing happens when you press that button. But I know a lot of Japanese automatics did have overdrive, but yeah, I think it's a 3 or 4 speed CVT box. So it's not a 3 or 4 speed at all, it's a CVT box, so it's constantly variable transmission. But yeah, drives pretty nicely. It's got a nice little grunt when it pulls away. In terms of seats, we've got enough room in the back. It's actually not that bad. It's not bad at all. We've got rear head restraints. It's, you know, pretty well specced up. Yeah, and just ordinary kind of charcoal or black seats up front. Plenty of door pockets. Glove cubby above the glove box behind my bag there. So that's handy. We've got somewhere to keep stuff. So yeah, pretty basic in terms of, you know, astonishing equipment, but you've got things like rear electric windows, you've got air conditioning, you've got buttons to open or flaps to open your bonnet and your fuel cap. So that's a pretty decent spec. That's, you know, for a car that some may consider as their first car. You know, that's pretty decent. So this has got an aftermarket stereo as well, so it is set up for modern traffic. The only thing it hasn't got is cruise control, but if it's anything like the driver of this car, this is used to go to Waitrose or Sainsbury's once or twice a week, an occasional further afield trip, so it's really not going very far. Let's get out and take it for a drive. Right, so jumping in, engine springs into life. We'll turn the heater off so we haven't got any background noise. But let's take this little gem of a car for a little drive. Must remember in an automatic, so foot on the brake and then off we go. Oh, that pulls off really nicely. Yeah, so it's definitely, oh, there we are, made it schoolboy error straight away. I've used the wrong control for the indicators. So let's just pootle around these village roads and see how it feels. Yeah, so it's quiet. Got a nice little rasp when you actually do put your foot down a bit. But if you're living in town, or you're just going on occasional journeys like the owner of this car does, it's ideal. We will get it on the open road in a sec and open it up, because it'd be good to see what it is like at 60. A little bit wandery, steering's a bit wandering. Yeah, driven more planted cars, let's put it that way. But it's quiet, it's comfy, the seats aren't, you're not, you're in a smaller car, it's nice big seats, so you actually feel quite cosseted, which is a nice feeling. Yeah, that's really nice. It's dead quiet, it's great. Okay, so we've had a little pootle around some village roads, and you're driving around town or manoeuvring in supermarket car parks, it handles perfectly well. But let's give it an open up now we're out of the village. Just don't know how well you can hear that, but yeah, you've got that kind of classic whine of the CVT. It's not quite as whiny as my mum's old Volvo 340 with its rubber bands, but yeah, that's accelerated quite nicely. It's not rapid, but it's not a slouch either. We're not timing it because we're not doing 60, but we can go down a bit further and just see if we can get a little bit faster, a bit more speed up down here. Has it got a kick down? Yeah, it has. Engine wants to rev, and it's holding on to the gear, so we're up at 60 pretty quick. Didn't want to change, it didn't want to kind of vary its gear ratio there, so that's quite interesting. But yeah, what do I think of this car? I think if you are someone like me, then you probably wouldn't get this car. I like something a bit bigger, a bit quicker, and maybe a bit more planted. But if you are doing limited mileage, and if you are, or you've got a commute that's pretty urban, you're not going to be needing to change gear lots, or you're stuck in traffic, something like this is going to give you an ideal option. It's automatic, so you haven't got to worry about changing gear and getting cramp in your clutch foot. It's good on petrol. I know these even though they're automatics, they're not that thirsty. So I would happily have one if I was doing that kind of driving. I'm not. But yeah, cracking little cars. Do like Nissans, do like Micras. If I was going to get another Micra, it would probably be another K11, and it would have to be a 1.3 manual, just because that's what I do with cars. But in terms of an efficient, affordable car, Micras are always going to win. I was discussing this with someone the other day. Our kids who are 15, 16 now are going to be driving in the next year or two, going to buy electric cars as their first cars. Well, unless mummy and daddy are really rich, no. So those people are still going to go for Corsas, Fiestas, Micras, Polos, the cars that we bought when we were 17, 18 years old. So I think, if you are a younger person, these are still an ideal car to get. But just not for me, unfortunately. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, don't forget to like the video, and if you're really kind, share it with your friends as well. And I'll see you again very soon on the next episode of Beards and Bangers. Goodbye.